The 2010 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. Chevrolet has only made the Grand Sport option available 2 other times in the Corvette's history. The original Grand Sport was a track-only special with a 550 HP V8, and the 1996 version was the only Corvette to use the more powerful LT4 engine. So our biggest concern when we heard rumors of the return of the Corvette Grand Sport was that Chevrolet was not going to be able to deliver a car that lived up to the historic name. For the 3rd edition, Chevrolet reached into the Corvette parts bin and pulled out sort of a best-of package for the standard Corvette. Even though there is no new engineering on the latest Grand Sport, we are now happy to report that it is still an intriguing option. The standard 430 horsepower 6.2-liter V8 is untouched, making 436 HP with the 2-mode exhaust system. What was added includes parts like the Z51 performance suspension. The GS replaces this option package, wider fenders, wider tires, 18 in front, 19 in rear, and larger brakes. It also borrows elements from the Z06 like the front bumper, rear spoiler and rear brake ducts. The 2010 Grand Sport can be ordered with 1 LT, 2 LT, 3 LT and 4 LT trim packages and in 4 exterior colors, as well as 2-tone seats with Grand Sport embroidery. It can be had as a coupe or convertible. Prices for the Corvette GS range from $54,770 to $62,475. Press release after the jump. Press release. Grand Sport. It's one of the most storied monikers in Corvette's illustrious racing heritage, and it is returning the lineup. Chevrolet announced the new 2010 Corvette Grand Sport at the 12th annual C5-C6 Corvette Birthday Bash, held at the National Corvette Museum, in Bowling Green, Kentucky. LS3 6.2-liter V8. Engine, 430 horsepower and 424 lb-ft of torque. The new Grand Sport model combines the Corvette's LS3-based powertrain with unique, wide-body styling and a racetrack-bred suspension for a distinctive, starting grid-ready performer. It is offered in both coupe and convertible body styles, with either a 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic transmission. The LS3 6.2L engine is rated at 430 horsepower, 321 kilowatts and 424 lb-ft of torque, 575 Nm with the standard exhaust system. An optional 2-mode exhaust system elevates the power ratings to 436 horses, 325 kilowatts and 428 lb-ft. 580 Nm. The Grand Sport replaces the Corvette's previous Z51 package and brings a greater degree of handling performance, with wider wheels and tires, revised shock, stabilizer bar and spring specifications and specific gearing. The equipment enables cornering capability of 1.0 grams, as well as a 0.2 second improvement in 0 to 60 acceleration versus standard LS3-powered models. Grand Sport Coupe models equipped with the manual transmission are uniquely outfitted for racetrack competition, too, with a dry sump oiling system, differential cooler and a rear-mounted battery. The complete list of content and special features for the Grand Sport includes wider front and rear fenders, including specific front fenders with integrated Grand Sport badges, Z06 style front splitter and tall rear spoiler, functional brake ducts and extra cooling, unique 18-inch front and 19-inch wheels, painted finish standard and chrome finish optional, large 275 35ths ZR18 tires in front and 325 30ths ZR19 tires in the rear, Z06 size brakes, including 14-inch 355 mm front rotors with 6-piston calipers and 13.4-inch 340 mm rear rotors with 4-piston calipers, specific manual transmission gear ratios, specific rear axle ratio on automatic equipped models. With its special equipment, the Grand Sport offers a unique blend of performance and amenities. Its suspension package approaches that of the Z06, but includes a removable roof on coupes. Z06 has a fixed roof and, of course, the availability of a convertible body style. Also, the paddle-shift 6-speed automatic transmission is offered, while a manual transmission is the only choice with the Z06. All of Corvette's exterior colors are offered on the Grand Sport, and an available Heritage package adds iconic front fender hash marks offered in 4 colors, as well as 2-tone seats with Grand Sport embroidery. The Grand Sport can be ordered with 1 LT, 2 LT, 3 LT and 4 LT trim packages, too. Grand Sport history. Envisioned by legendary Corvette engineer Zora Arkus Duntiv as a factory-built, lightweight and race-ready production model that would trump domestic and foreign road racing competitors, the original Corvette Grand Sport was a promising idea stymied by GM's agreement to stay out of manufacturer-backed motorsports. The planned 125 production models required for racing class homologation were never built, but 5 prototypes based on the styling of the 1963 Corvette were hand-assembled under Duntiv's watchful eye. And while they looked like production models, the prototypes were purpose-built race cars that shared little with their assembly line cousins. Duntiv also oversaw the Grand Sport engine program that featured a special 377 cubic inch small block V8 and used side draft carburetors. Although never officially sanctioned by General Motors, the 5 Grand Sport prototypes saw extensive racing experience throughout the 1960s in the hands of private racers who had strong contacts within Duntiv's engineering circle. All 5 original cars are accounted for today and are among the most valuable in the collector market. Chevrolet offered a limited edition Grand Sport production model in 1996, commemorating the original racing cars and marking the end of the C4 era in Corvette production. All of the 1,000 examples were painted Admiral Blue and featured a white center stripe and red hash mark graphics on the left front fender, a graphic scheme that mimicked the look of some of the original race cars. Specifications. Models: Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport Coupe and convertible body styles. Driveline: 2-door hatchback coupe with removable roof, rear-wheel drive, coupe and convertible. Construction: composite body panels, hydroformed steel frame with aluminum and magnesium structural and chassis components. Manufacturing location: Bowling Green, Kentucky. Engines 6.2 L V8 LS3 displacement cu in per cc, 376 6160 seconds. Bore and stroke in per millimeter, 4.06 by 3.62, 103.25 x 92. Block material: cast aluminum cylinder head material, cast aluminum valve train, overhead valve, 2 valves per cylinder. Fuel delivery, SFI, sequential fuel injection. Compression ratio 10.7, 1 horsepower per kilowatt at RPM, 430–321 at 5,900 with STD. Exhaust torque pound-foot per Newton meter at RPM, 428–580 at 4,600 with opt. Exhaust recommended fuel, premium recommended but not required. EPA estimated fuel economy, city, HWY, 15/25, automatic, 16/26, manual, transmission. Chassis, suspension front, short, long arm, SLA, double wishbone, cast aluminum upper and lower control arms, transverse mounted composite leaf spring, monotube shock absorber. Rear, short, long arm, SLA, double wishbone, cast aluminum upper and lower control arms, transverse mounted composite leaf spring, monotube shock absorber. Traction control, electronic traction control, active handling brakes. Type, front and rear power assisted disc with ABS with 6-piston front and 4-piston rear calipers, cross-drilled rotors. Rotor diameter x thickness in per millimeter, front 14 by 1.3, 355 by 32, rear 13.4 x 1, 340 by 26. Brake swept area square in per millimeter, front 309 1994, rear 269 1735. Wheels. Tires. Wheel size, front 18-inch by 9.5-inch, rear 19-inch x 12-inch tires, front P 275/35 ZR18, rear P 325/30 ZR19. Dimensions. Exterior wheelbase in per millimeter, 105.7, 2685. Overall length in per millimeter, 175.0. 58.6, 4,460 overall width in per millimeter, 75.9, 1928 overall height in per millimeter, 48.7, 1236 curb weight pound per kilogram, 3,311 1,500 seconds Grand Sport Coupe, 3,289 1,490 seconds Grand Sport Convertible, weight distribution, percent front, rear, 51/49 interior seating capacity 2 interior volume, cubic foot per liter, 52 1,475 headroom in per millimeter, 38 960 seconds legroom in per millimeter, 43 1,090 seconds shoulder room in per millimeter, 55 1,397 hip room in per millimeter, 54 1,371 capacities cargo volume, cubic foot per liter, coupe, 22 634, convertible, 11 295, top up, 7.5 212, top down. Fuel tank, gallon per liter, 18, 68.1 engine oil, quart per liter, 5.5, 5.2 automatic transmission, 10.5, 9.9 manual transmission, prices, packages, exterior, powertrain, interior, dealer-installed accessories, competitors and press reviews. After getting the lowdown on the Grand Sport, it was time to drive. The MRC is a 3-mile-long, 17-turn road course where, according to test driver and track designer Jim Merrow, 97% of every lap is spent under lateral acceleration. To keep things under control, GM had us come into the pits every lap so they could set up a cone chicane on the back straight. The course is designed as an engineering test facility rather than a racetrack and includes 2 off-camber turns, increasing and decreasing radius turns and even 2 jumps to unload the suspension. Autoblog. Every 2010 Corvette equipped with a manual transmission, including Grand Sport models, comes standard with a nearly foolproof launch control program. Put the traction and stability control system in competitive mode, depress the clutch, put the right pedal on the floor mat, and sidestep the clutch. Chevy says it has no worries about the durability of its driveline while using launch control, a little needle poke to the folks at Nissan. A guy whose job it is to track test cars can squeeze a slightly better acceleration figure than the launch control can. But he can't be as consistent. And while using it, even the lamest Corvette driver never need worry about performance anxiety and/or clumsiness resulting in stoplight humiliation. Inside line. The payoff is far greater handling precision. On GM's sinewy road course, the Grand Sport cornered flat. The standard Vette's normal body motions are all but gone. The Grand Sport stays commendably poised, even under hard, racetrack threshold braking. The Grand Sport is much easier to drive than a Z06 or even a ZR1. Where the 2 higher-powered cars so effortlessly break traction when exiting a corner, the Grand Sport stays hooked up. After a few laps, the driver's confidence grows to the point where we were hustling the Grand Sport around as hard as we would in, say, a Mazda Miata. Popular mechanics. Competitors. Aston Martin the 5th 8 Vantage. The 2010 Aston Martin the 5th 8 Vantage is powered by a 4.7-liter V8 engine that delivers a total of 420 horsepower and 346 lb-ft of torque. The sports car makes the 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint in 4.65 seconds. The 2009 model is priced at $119,500. Prices for the 2010 model are to be announced. BMW 6 Series 650i Coupe. The BMW 650i is powered by a 4.8-liter V8 engine that delivers a total of 360 horsepower at an engine speed of 6,300 revolutions per minute, with peak torque of 360 pound-feet at 3,400 revolutions per minute. It makes the 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint in 5.3 seconds, while top speed is limited to 155 miles per hour. The car is priced at $78,450. Dodge Viper SRT-10 Coupe. The 2010 Viper SRT-10 is powered by an enormous 8.4-liter V10 power plant that produces 600 HP and 560 pound-feet of torque that rocket the engine with wheels from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds, run the quarter mile in the mid-11-second range before hitting a top speed of 202 miles per hour. Prices start at $91,220. Conclusion. The Chevrolet Corvette GS is for sure a car that's worth to be bought. First, if you take a quick look at the pricing list, it is the cheapest in its class. And with a sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.95 seconds, it is also quicker. In fact, the Corvette Grand Sport looks more like a track machine, but is perfectly legal for everyday use. And on the road it is a real beast, and most importantly, you don't need to be a professional driver to control it. The car will easily respond to any of your command, and will be a pleasure to drive. There are people out there who might think that the interior of the car needs lots of improvements. True, but you have to remember this is a sports car, not a luxury one. So, just sit back and enjoy.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.